Okay, we'll see how well it goes.
Once they're all ready, you come over to the mic check and
You gonna shoot this gorilla style?
I'm shooting somewhere, so this is
I'll try to keep my butt out of your shot there.
Is there any audience?
We got some right here, yeah. Check, check, check. Cinnamon raisin oatmeal. Check, check, check. Nothing yet? Nope. Two, check, check. Two, check, check two. Two, check. Mic check. Let me check the board.
There's something.
Here, you want to go test it again?
That sounds good.
Can I have like two small strips of
You guys are able to go back to the station?
We're allowed to go on the second floor to use the bathroom, and that is it. Yes. How about you? Not allowed?
I don't like the baby, but I can see it.
Okay.
I think they're all 3 months.
Definitely no brainer. Because there's so much more possibility of something in the Italian.
Got the replay.
I've done like 50. I've done like 50 to 70.
I was doing the 360. I'll be okay.
Yeah, you'll be okay as long as you're not Lonnie shot.
Lonnie should do this. I'll be right back.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm in the room right here. So.
Step in out there. We were supposed to go to both of them.
I'll give you a white balance and mic check there. Whenever you're ready.
I know that first step today, but I kind of get nervous. I'm not saying
Check. Audio good? Audio good. Thank you. Okay.
Let's wait. We'll wait. You guys stop by, everybody. We're just gonna wait another minute. Is that okay? Sure. Okay. How's everybody? Good. How you doing? I hear the weather's hot. Oh my. It's so hot. Stupid hot. Yeah, it's just. Well, we haven't had one of these weeks in quite a while, in a couple of years. Yeah. Reminds me when I was first new to Sacramento to Barrington in 1984, I remember a day 114 degrees. Well, that's the highest I remember. What was it yesterday?
Well, it's one of mine in my car.
I was no good. This was like 90 degrees last night at midnight. Or 18. Hey, bitch.
Knocking over everything. Hello. There's a little box right in the middle there. And then check.
He might. I do not. Oh, yeah. He might have it. Yeah. Get his mic set up real quick, and then that should be fine.
You get a mic set up?
Yeah.
All right, even levels. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay.
Are we ready? Good morning, everyone. I'm Darrell Steinberg. I'm proud to be the mayor of Sacramento. I'm proud to be here today at this beautiful facility of hope. I want to begin by saying thank you to a number of people and organizations that were really instrumental in bringing us to this day. Now, today we're not here cutting the ribbon necessarily on this center, but we chose to have our big announcement here today because it is representative of what is possible if we work together and if we are committed to helping as many people as we can get off the streets. I want to thank my city colleagues, of course, the management staff, especially my colleagues who have worked very hard through the CARES Act opportunities, delicately balancing all of the key priorities in our city. I want to thank the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency and Michelle Dozier, our director, who we're going to hear from in just a moment, for your tremendous work in helping get this going and everything else you do for and on behalf of our community. And the same goes to Danielle Foster, the head of our housing unit within our Office of Economic Development. Outstanding job. And Emily Halpin, our home. From homelessness to hopefulness. Tomorrow, the City Council will vote in partnership with the County of Sacramento, with SHRA, with our city, and its Economic Development and Homeless Services Division, with steps forward and with our community. And I'm happy to detail the dollars, but let me just say that for a significant portion of it, we could have chosen to spend the money on other things. The CARES Act funding, for example, which is the federal distribution of money to cities and counties, we could have spent on many other things. And in fact, among the $89 million we are spending on a variety of strategies, but we chose to put $15.6 million into combating homelessness. What is the essence of this $62 million plan? Our first obligation is to help the nearly 1,100 people who we have already gotten off the streets through Project Roomkey and are in the motels that the city and county have stood up together during the COVID period. A significant portion of this money is going to go to make motels permanent housing, in addition to using vouchers and other strategies to get 1,100 people from those motels, some have already left, from those motels into permanent housing. If all we did was focus on the COVID, on homelessness, and on Project Roomkey, that might be a good start and an important contribution. But we know that Project Roomkey and Homekey, as big as it is not enough, because COVID has made the homeless problem even worse. And so we are deciding as a city that we must and we will tackle it on all fronts, including addressing the terrible methamphetamine addiction that afflicts so many. And let me say that prevention and early intervention is every bit as important as getting people who are homeless off the streets. I've often said the most Pyrrhic of victories is to get thousands of people off the streets, only to see them replaced by another cohort of an equal or greater number. We cannot have that in our community. Now, I want to end, before I turn it over to my colleagues, and I'll, of course, be glad to answer your questions, is that I don't stand out there making any bold predictions. I'm not going to tell you that as a result of this investment that homelessness is going to end or get dramatically better in Sacramento. I commit this. We will remain fiercely committed to making this unacceptable situation better. Thousands of people indoors, thousands of people avoiding homelessness. We will work because this is about humanity. This is about human beings. This is about our brothers and sisters. But for the grace of God, there go I. We will do better. $62 million is a good start. Let me turn it over now to the Mayor Pro Tem of the city, my colleague Angelique Ashby, who has worked tirelessly on many fronts here, but including to help the City of Refuge and St. John's. We'll talk about women and children and the work being done as part of this work.
Thank you very much, Mayor. It's a good day when we get to talk about how we're going to use $60+ million to help people in our city. And I wanted to be sure to be here today to talk about a few things that are priorities to me. As the only woman on the Sacramento City Council, and I've been in that role for over half a decade, I think it is critical that when we look at the homeless population, we single out women and children. And we talk about what their specific and individual needs are. It's a unique set of circumstances to be a woman who is homeless. It is another unique set of circumstances to be a woman who is homeless trying to care for your children. Not every solution for every person in the homeless population. Today we're standing in a shelter that will serve just women. We didn't feel it appropriate to put children in this space. But we did feel it was appropriate to get women off of the street and into this space. Hotel conversions are ideal for women with their children because there's a restroom, there's a kitchen, and because SHRA does a wonderful job of putting those hotels in places where children have an opportunity to go to school. We'll identify the right populations with the right solution with the help of Lachelle Dozier, the Executive Director of Sacramento's Housing and Redevelopment Agency. It is also critically important, and you'll hear from one of our great partners, Lisa Bates, today, but it is critically important in the city of Sacramento to identify agencies who are already doing this good work and empower them. Let me tell you what that looks like. A year ago, the city of Sacramento invested $1 million in City of Refuge, an organization that works with women primarily in Oak Park who have either faced homelessness, human sex trafficking, or abusive situations. We also invested that money who focuses on women who are facing drug addiction, but are also moms. Those two organizations in the last year have housed and helped over 300 women and children. And right now, over 175 women and children are housed in their program. Tomorrow night, one of the items we will be talking about is renewing that contract to keep those 175 women and children housed and providing the services they need to be successful in our city. That also means the more than 300 women and children on the wait list waiting to get into those programs may have an opportunity to do so in the coming months. So I'm here to remind Sacramento and my colleagues that women and children and hotel conversions and programs that put women and children in a place to succeed need to stay at the top of our priority list as we address homelessness in our city. So I'm proud to be here with the mayor today, proud to be here with my colleagues, and I think I have the opportunity to introduce a person who, when you look at the council, first of all, I've got to serve with him the longest of anyone on that council, and you would be hard pressed to find someone who has worked harder to try to address homelessness or lifting up neighborhoods that have been left behind. He's done a really good job, he fights hard, and he's not afraid of the big battles. Councilmember Jay Schmidt.
Good morning. Thank you, Angelique. I appreciate that introduction. This is a city issue. I and others have said for a long time that homelessness is the biggest threat to the city of Sacramento, financially, morally, any way you look at it, if we don't deal with this in the proper way. Now, we can go back a number of years to the first $1 million that we put into Sacramento Steps Forward, when we said we need to get involved in this. Historically, as you know, the city is not a social service agency, but the city at one point said, this is our city and we cannot abide by what is happening on our streets by folks not having a roof over their heads and not having the services to be successful in their lives. And so that was the starting point in then creating Emily Halpin's position within the city manager's office and continuing year after year to bolster that. Again, this is not something historically that cities have done, but I'm very proud of our city. I want to thank the mayor for leading us in so many ways, Angelique and all of my colleagues for taking on the very, very difficult decisions of siting shelters, of siting facilities for homeless individuals. This is not an easy thing to do. Everyone wants the problem solved, but nobody really wants to solve a problem. For us, I think the desire has always been there within the city to do this and to do it right. I drive every day underneath the freeway along the WX corridor or up 80. It gets worse and worse. Again, the biggest challenge that we have as a city that has only been highlighted by COVID, and whatever the percentage increase actually is, whether it's 10 or 15 or 20%, anecdotally, you know it's there. And it just means that we have to do more. Our challenge has always been one of resources. We didn't have specific funding sources, but between the state, the federal government, the mayor's private fundraising, we now have the resources to really make a significant dent.
And his team, James, you're right back there. Thank you. You guys built this, and what a terrific job you did. You should be really, really proud. This is a lot of construction as well. Thank you very much. Just beautiful. Now let me introduce, of course, the Executive Director of the Sacramento Housing Redevelopment Agency. Again, the city, Michelle Dozier.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I really would like to thank the mayor and the council for all of the hard work and their intense focus on really addressing those people who are most vulnerable within the city of Sacramento. They've done an outstanding job, and they provided us with the resources to really start to make some significant gains. And now this is the next step in building upon that success. We've been able to house people through several different projects. We have our transitional housing for youth at 18 to 24 that has really just taken off. We're so excited, it's completely full. This is our next phase of sheltering here at Meadowview, and then we're working on the other ones to come. So building on that success, I really want to highlight 3 different things. One is a program that we already have received approval to move forward, and that is to address the issue of people with vouchers and giving some assistance. The mayor talked about the fact that that is one of the tools in our toolkit that we use. So we actually are now providing landlord incentives for people to actually rent their house, their unit, whatever they have, in terms of making sure that people who have vouchers have a place to live. So we're offering a $2,500 housing incentive for those landlords. So we really want to make sure that people understand and know about that. We're providing a fund. If there are any damages to the unit, where SHRA will actually step in and assist. So very excited about that. But really, if anyone is interested, please check our website, www.shra.org, for our landlord incentive. The second one that I really want to talk about is motel conversions. I know that Councilmember Ashby and the mayor talked about this as well. This has been such a great, successful program. Really, truth be told, Sacramento started this over a decade ago, identifying motels that were a blight within the community, transitioning them to homeless services. And we have done such a fantastic job that now the state has figured it out. And they've come up with this funding under Project Home Key that they're using now throughout the state, and we are making applications. So part of this big package that we're talking about is doing motel conversions in the city. And we're very, very excited that the city really has stepped up. And as Councilmember Shamir was saying, everybody wants to talk about the problem, but solving the problem and being there to really make those hard decisions, our council and not shied away. And then the next thing I want to also highlight is one that will be coming forward, and this one is to give rental assistance to those individuals who are suffering. We know that there are many people out there who either did not make their last rental payment or are in jeopardy of not making that next rental payment. This is critical. We cannot, absolutely cannot allow people to end up in a situation of homelessness because they don't have the resources to pay their rent. So we are really excited to be moving forward with an emergency rental assistance program. The package will have almost $5 million dedicated to that effort. So that will be coming forward tomorrow. We're very affirmative go ahead and really get started in making sure that the people who get the assistance receive it. And with that, I really want to just say thank you, Mayor, who really understands what is needed here in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I next want to introduce Lisa Bates, who is the Executive Director of Sacramento Steps Forward. Been really the bridge, if you will, along with SHRA between the city and the county when it comes to rehousing people who are in our motels known as Project Room Key, and then what we're trying to do to help them get permanently housed. Please.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to also share my appreciation of the leadership of the mayor and the city council in first standing up our initial COVID response plan. It doesn't seem too long ago, but on August 8th, they committed a significant amount of resources along with the County of Sacramento to initiate this response plan. And tomorrow's actions will not only further that, but enhance the services that are going to be offered to our community. The response plan is a collaboration between the City of Sacramento, the County of Sacramento, Sacramento Housing Development Agency, and Sacramento Steps Forward as your COC applicant. Drawing on the strengths of each of our respective organizations, we were able to mobilize a three-pronged approach to responding to the COVID pandemic. And that includes our collective efforts to bring indoors over 1,000 individuals within just a few months' time. That's been unprecedented in our lifetime here as a community. We've been able to maintain the existing shelter capacity of our community, and we're expanding it, as you see today in this beautiful Meadowview Center. We've also increased the services to those that remain unhoused in our community to make sure that they are safe with food, water, medical support, and necessary survival commitment. Combined with the funding approved by the county last month, the actions that hopefully will be approved tomorrow will allow the response effort to continue to provide motel and trailer sheltering, quickly pivot our attention to rehousing our guests in our shelters. And we are talking about some of our most vulnerable community members, many of them over 55, many having medical conditions, and increase overall housing capacity for the system through the Home Key project, as Executive Director Michelle Dozier mentioned. I applaud the leadership of the city and the county to work toward common solutions. A response of this magnitude demands the commitment and coordination across our partners and is a model for ongoing homelessness response effort. As we continue into an uncertain future and challenges remain, no question, these funding actions are a continued step forward in serving our unhoused in such unprecedented times. Sacramento Steps Forward is committed to be at this table solving homelessness through the collaborative and innovative solutions that you're hearing from your mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. I'd be glad to answer any questions, as would any of the team that is with me here today. Questions?
Mayor?
Yes.
Can you say more about how the next sobering center would work? Because the vast majority that individuals experiencing homelessness is not present.
We have recognized for a long time that one of the most serious aspects of our homeless problem in Sacramento are those who are addicted to methamphetamine, who are out on the streets, who are sick, and sometimes behave in ways that are threatening to other people. And we have to do something about it. And so we are talking about, and not just talking about, we've actually put $1 million in this plan, and we're working with our county partners to open up a meth sobering center where people who are addicted to methamphetamine can come inside and we can begin to address their addiction, but a specific focus on meth. Because we hear from a lot of people, and I've heard it now for 4 years, the homeless are not monolithic here. People have varied reasons why they're out on the streets. There's some are out on the streets for economic reasons, and of course there's a specific response there. There are women with children, that's a specific response. There are women who don't have children. I mean, and the meth problem is a unique and very serious problem, and it deserves special attention, especially because it is causing such disruption in our larger community. And so we have a ways to go. We put $1 million in this plan. We think it'd be about a $2 million cost to open this, to making the treatment of methamphetamine as best we can to get people inside a high priority.
A lot of your plan is based on grants, one-time funding, to build structures, but obviously there's ongoing services that will have to be funded. Is that going to be a problem in the future in terms of what the city and county having to continue to have the money for services?
Yeah, we have operating funds embedded within here to take us, not only get us started, but to take us for a significant period of time. But there's no question that there's going to be, need to be an ongoing commitment. And I guess I will make a partisan comment here. I'm confident that the Biden administration will make housing and homelessness the priority that it should be. And I'm confident that Governor Newsom and the legislature will continue to make these a priority, and the city will, and the county will. I will say, you know, the city and the county have had a history maybe of not working as closely together as it could. Over these last 5 months, we have worked together in an unprecedented fashion. This Project Linky that we're talking about here today was a county-driven effort, with the city being a partner. And I say that, you know, humbly, because give credit where credit is due, but we need more of that, right? Because as Councilman Chenier said, the city is not a health and human services agency. It's not what we do. Now, we have stepped into many breaches and will continue to, but the success of this is going to require that we enhance that partnership with the County of Sacramento, and I'm confident that we will.
Can you offer some more specifics about exact locations for the hotel-motel conversion and kind of where that might be going?
I will let Joe answer that.
So at our last meeting on Tuesday, the city approved us to move forward with an application for home key at the Hawthorne Suites, which is located off of Richards on Burkett. So that is one that we have made an application for. We're also looking, the city applied for an application for manufactured homes, one at St. John's Shelter, another one with Weed, and that location we don't disclose for obvious reasons. And then we are now also focusing on a third application that the city will put forward for another homeless site. So that one is still has to be determined by the city council. But we're moving forward aggressively on all of those fronts.
Thank you. You know, one of the great points of tension around this, and Jay said it earlier, you know, is that people want the problem solved, but they don't necessarily want it in their backyard, which is human nature. But let's be honest about the River District. It is saturated and overconcentrated with people who are homeless. And they're complaining and complaining loudly. Our principle needs to be that when we build these facilities, priority must be to get people off the streets from within that geographic. Some legal challenges and this and that, but we can find a way to do that. We've got to provide with Hawthorne Suites, for example, we've got to provide relief to the River District. That's our commitment here in Meadowview. The first draw is going to be from women who are home in Sacramento. And it won't be seamless or perfect because we're one city and one county. But that has got to be our driving principle here, because success is defined not only by getting people off the streets, but also by neighborhoods and neighbors feeling that the situation has gotten better for them as well. That's our great challenge, and we take it. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you coming out. Thank you. Are we doing tours here, socially distant tours? Or? Is that possible? Okay.